This is like a 40-year-old Yamaha guitar.
I love
It cost me
Yamahas.
maybe $149, and I had to nurse it. I got it when I was staying in Summit. I got about 3 of them, and 2 of them, the tops come up too high and you can't get the action. But I got lucky with this one. And what did I do? I put new machine heads on it, and it has sort of like a little following, like things on the internet do have followings, no matter what it is, a motorcycle, and this has a little 3-piece back. It's kind of copies of Martin. It's made out of mahogany. And it's nice to have a couple like good quality guitars that I'm not worried about. They're beaters really, but they're good sounding beaters.
Yeah.
As opposed to having something that you gotta.
Hey, jukebox played Yamaha. That's how I grew up on.
So many good ones. See, the thing is that I never saw a lot of those in the U.S. in the old days, because I think they were pretty selective what they put in the stores. Yamaha, being a global company that they are, the U.S. is just part of their market, so they select certain places. They make like so many models, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Where are they at? Japan?
Yeah. Well, they have facilities in China. This was made in Taiwan. They make they make a little bit of stuff in Japan still, like the high end.
Taiwan, Japan, same. Taiwan, Chinese, same thing.
Well, the Japanese stuff is much more expensive. That's where the elite luthiers are supposedly. But I have one that's made in China that you've seen. That's absolutely great. But what are you gonna do?
Huh.
I don't want to have I wouldn't want to just have an expensive guitar that I'd have to worry about, because you could replace this. You don't have to worry about something getting knocked over.
So, were the Yamahas created after Martin, or
Martin guitars started in 1833.
Ooh.
Yamaha started making classical guitars a pretty long time ago. After that, I think it was Nippon Gakki, A-G-K-K-I, and it was like a red label, but I think they started making classical guitars, but I don't know what year that was. That was in the 20th century. But Martin started way, way back, 1833. Yeah. So the thing with the Yamahas, you have to read up and find out of the billion models that they make, which ones should you zoom in on.
Okay.
As long as it has a good round sound and stays in tune and cooperates and you get some music out of it. The guitars that don't cooperate, I've only had a few of those where we're ready for the dumpster, or I was going to leave one on the doorsteps of a church. It was only a few. In my life, I've only played on a few guitars that I just could not tolerate because they, for some weird cosmic intervention of a negative kind, could not stay in tune. That's the thing.
I'm, somewhat. I'm very happy that there's a coincidental playing ability of the Martin and Yamaha.
Yeah.
From somebody who knows what it's all about. So it's quite a. I love the Yamaha sound fully.
I had a Martin guitar for about 43 years. I'll get another one at some point.
Do you consider the Yamaha a step down?
No, it depends on the model.
Yeah.
So I don't really.
Right.
It depends on the model.
So they might perform as well.
Well, it really depends. It's hard to say. I would, in a nanosecond, I'd probably want to get a Martin guitar. Because it's made right here. and that makes me feel good.
Bethlehem, yeah.
And that Nazareth, because I understand they're having some tough times, like all the companies are, guitar companies. Sometimes I wonder if they make just too many models, like
Like the auto industry.
they make too many models, like they're tooling up for these special things, and what's the cost? You know, are they making it back? You know, like. So I haven't been out there in a long time. I know they changed the whole museum setup, but I haven't been out there for, oh man, maybe 15 years.
Yeah, you know who went out there? Mr. Vinci and Chuck Lippincott went
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, I'd like to go there.
I don't know about that whole manufacturing time period of putting time and effort into of a piece, be it a steel pipe to flow fractured gas down throughout the shales down to the coast in order for us to be warm, and or time put into entertainment pieces to keep us warm. Also, it's something that we
that's interesting.
should consider more fully than Rocket Man.
Oh boy.
or any other.
That's scary. Yeah.
Well, shoes are necessary, and jeans are necessary, and
Occasional
picks are necessary.
Beverages and coffee too. Yeah.
And sure is necessary, and so is
Right.
so is most of the other things that people need. People need writing instruments.
Yeah.
And didn't Dylan say that they need pens in order to steal from you?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's when he did his first album and probably got the record
That's
deal
pretty funny, man.
that he wasn't too happy about. People got to eat.
Yeah. Well.
But that's a great guitar.
I like guitars that are not expected to be great, and you can extract good music out of them. A lot of times you can spend a lot of money, and I have, and sometimes your expectation level is very high, and your brain gets involved too much. It's like if you bought a high-end car, but you really didn't like the way it handled, but you were telling yourself that it handled okay.
I was thinking about an old girlfriend, but
right.
I know what you mean.
Right. And yeah, how she handled.
Yeah.
You got to watch out.
She didn't look so hot to begin with, but
Yes,
it turned out all right.
Yeah.
That could be it.
That's why having something built.
Music
It would
is
be
a
like
mistress.
having a house built to your specs, but somehow the whole is not great into some of the parts, and it just looked good on paper, but the reality of it is just wasn't happening, and that happens a lot of times with instruments.
Now, Willie Nelson's guitar, that's got that hole in it.
There's a story about Willie Nelson's guitar. Like the guy who works on it, he wants him to retire it. He made a second one for him, exactly like it. That was more robust, but he won't use it. Willie won't use it.
No.
Trigger. I mean, he got Willie's guitar. It's a Martin classical guitar, but it uses a pickup from some unusual, like a company you would never think of, Baldwin or something like that. They found that pickup, which is pretty rare. They found that guitar, which was rare, and they built another one for him, but he wouldn't use it. Maybe he travels with it, but I think the thing that he has is
It's got to be the sound and the oldness.
It's barely sort of held together.
It's tough to break in no girlfriends.
Well, he has a deeper relationship with it than most people could comprehend. So I mean, so I don't like those guitars that are like,
I didn't know that was a Martin.
yeah, that are like there's guitars that are like pre-aged and made to look old. That cracks me up. There's a whole, and they're expensive too. Has a cigarette burns on them and all that. So, but they didn't try to do that to this guitar,
like
of course.
having jeans and hitting them with like.
Well, that's the same thing. Yeah, I don't get that. I get it in some way, but not the the price they put on them is it's unbelievable.
And the strings. What's so? Is there any manufacturer that is any better than the others?
It's a personal thing. I like D'Addario. They're in Long Island. I think they're still a family business.
Huh.
I find them to be the most consistent. I use them on my electric guitars and on the acoustics. When I say consistent, where the intonation stays good and the strings last a little longer maybe. But overall the tone is good. Very rarely you'll get a bad string. I've tried different brands of strings, but I found that it's better to find one you like and just stay with it. It's almost like tires. Let your guitar get used to it. So I like the Addarios.
ADAI.
D apostrophe ADDARARIO.
A little Italians, huh?
Yeah. And they were doing a joint venture with Martin with guitar strings, but I think Martin strings are now made in Mexico. I'm not sure. But I think D'Addario is still, out of Long Island. There's another one in Battle Creek, Michigan, which you might remember from like one of the cereal boxes. Kellogg is GHS.
We had to send away for him?
GHS is in Battle Creek, Michigan. That's another. Well, Michigan, was pretty active when the Gibson Guitar Factory was in Kalamazoo, back in the, before they moved it.
To where?
Kalamazoo, Michigan. The old Gibson guitars have the orange label that says Kalamazoo. So GHS was up there. There's a lot of other brands. There's a lot of high-end brands. I can't see spending a lot of money. I've been buying electric guitar strings like Roger does in a box of like, I forgot how many sets there are, where they come out straight. You don't bring them on gigs. It's like if you have a lot of guitars, then you don't have to unravel them. You just pull them out of a box.
Oh.
I forgot how many sets were in there. I don't even remember how many sets were in there. 25, 50, I forgot.
Kalamazoo?
No, D'Addario.
Oh.
But if you're working in a workshop, you just pull them out. There's like 6 slots. Well, you don't bring them on the gig because it's not really practical.
If I was Warren Buffett, I'd go out there and buy the company just because, Warren Buffett likes to buy things that have value in them, that are creations and manufacturing products like, candies and paint. And so within this conversation, an investor would say, that's a great investment. People love it.
I think you have to have consistent product and you have to price it fairly. You get customer loyalty that way. The automobile manufacturers have to learn that. Understand that BMW got raided too for falsifying some of their emissions records. I saw this article today.
What, you trying to say that the Germans are done? They're pulling the wool over our eyes?
Well, it's just that the whole thing with Volkswagen let a lot of people down. They were disappointed.
Look, anytime you try to impose restrictions on anybody, everybody's going to go outside the box. If they're gangsters or not gangsters, they're just going to try to make the product, but 3.1 or 2.2, when you start to get down to that, could you build me an engine that I can get from my house to Mitch's house? It's not going to take us too long because we're just around the block.
Yeah.
So get off my back, and same thing with dishwashers. It took 2 hours in order for my dishes to be clean when they should take 1 hour.
Because of the panel, electronic panel?
Because of the government saying that you got to, energy
Oh, as far as
efficiency and so
water,
forth.
yeah.
It's a little bit of that, a little bit of, I think we go overboard on some things, but once they start to impose infractions upon, corporations to make them more efficient in their own governmental way, it doesn't work like that. Capitalism works always where I beat you.
Mhm.
I beat you in golf. I beat you in emission standards or getting faster down the block. And so you have to let capitalism ride. You can't let government come in and tell you what to do most of the times. They can regulate some things, but when they it becomes non-competitive. This is just my opinion.
One thing Volkswagen did is they made pretty attractive deals to keep customers. My friend Mitch his wife had a Passat or something like that.
Didn't Roger have a dealership in Jersey
Yeah,
City?
yeah.
Yeah.
So they made it pretty good financial incentives to keep some customers by buying their car back and then giving them where it's.
Yeah, Scotty Subbase had a couple of them too. He's got a fleet of them.
So
Then they bought them from us Americans, and they sent them down to Mexico where the emission standards are a little less, and there you go. So I don't understand when we had tanks rolling up and down the street blowing out diesel, it was a little different aspect of so.
good. Frank show. Is that no? That's the balloons again. That's right. Fooled me again.
What
I
balloons?
thought it was the balloons on the heat. I thought it was precipitation outside.
When I read Finley the books when she was growing up, that was the word precipitation.
Oh,
That's a
It's
tough
a
word.
hard word to say.
When you were growing up,
It's
precipa what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, like when you're a
it
little
was a
kid.
Winnie the Pooh book.
When you're a little kid, you say stuff like library and you don't get brewery yet. It takes a few weeks. Yeah. Yeah, that whole part of the brain when you're little, and all of a sudden, if you're lucky enough to be in a household where people are intelligent and speak logically,
Yeah.
with marginally good grammar and read and all that, you absorb that.
You know what I think the best part about little families is that they leave the kids alone in order to develop their own particular,
If they do that, though.
Yeah. Were you left alone to develop your own?
Well, yeah, because I was sort of like an only child. Because I was
Yeah.
a surprise baby, so I had two older sisters.
Oh.
So by the time they were out of the house, I was kind of a latchkey kid. My mother went back to work and all that. But I was basically, I didn't really get into trouble. I just played music.
Yeah.
But before that, I was like a lot of American kids that had encyclopedias in the house, and I was into history and things about like Civil War.
That bodes well for the encyclopedia salesman.
Yeah, like
You did a good job.
I also used to play drumsticks on them too. I used to make a fake drum set out of the big.
What was it, Collier's or was it?
Oh, Britannica maybe, or
Yeah.
no, I don't even know.
Was it black or what
I
color?
don't even remember, but I
Yeah.
remember looking at the special inserts where they have the flags of the world. I
Uh-huh.
just like looking at the colors of the
Yeah.
different flags.
How am I going to remember all these?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing too many documentaries, but I think if I had to go to scholastic academic route again, I would get into history because I think the politicians don't get into that.
Well,
And I have a lot of respect for a lot of these guys that write like presidential biographies and things like that. That do all the research and all that.
The Dutch friend that I had he said encyclopedia.
Yeah, and that's nice.
And I
Sounds
said-
like it's
I'm like,
encyclopedia.
you guys had them over in Europe? What is
like
it?
Otolaryngologist? That's what they call them now. Ears, nose, and throat. Otolaryngologist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you look it up in your health guide.
Oh.
How do you pronounce that?
Well,
Oto.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be ENT.
Oh, yeah.
Not eye. Yeah,
Yeah.
ear,
Ear.
nose, and throat.
Right.
They wanted a better sounding name.
ENT.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the silence and then but there's the music that plays in the background and the music that you hear in your mind and then all the disturbances even on silence that you hear the heater blowing wind and pressing balloons and
Yeah.
you try to decipher what's going on.
Or when your house creaks, like an old house, it just kind of makes noise on its own.
Yeah, with this back stairs.
That only bothers people if they're home alone or something. But other people, I think they get to know the sounds of their house. They know if something's not right if they hear a sound they never heard before.
Right.
Which would signal like a heating system thing or something that's alive, some kind of rodentia moving around.
Yeah, I think that's how the whole haunted thing came into play.
You know, the thing with chimneys and all that. And
Well, it's been a great experience tonight.
yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
This is Mike. What was that? Mike Douglas show.
Well, that Mike Douglas show was on in. That was in the afternoon, I think. Was it from Philadelphia?
At 4 o'clock.
And he had a little jazz band.
Had that like all these different colored like little things, and you know,
I
in
don't
the
remember,
background.
but I just thought
He was a
good.
'70s kind of dude.
They had music people on there.
Yeah. Mike Douglas.
I think it was Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think so.
Out of Philly. And Merv Griffin.
Oh yeah.
Merv, as my cousin Patrick used to call him, Merv the Perv.
Merv the Perv.
But that only came out later. But Merv the Pervs, anytime you saw at the bottom of the thing, and Merv the Perv, it would say Califon, New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, that's where he lived.
No shit.
Califon.
I didn't know that.
Check that out.
So he's behind all those game shows, like Wheel of Fortune and all those other ones. He was like
Yeah.
the genius behind all that.
Yeah. See, I think what happened was that out here in Hunterdon County, a lot of the gay guys were able to disappear out here without the infractions of, you know, societal issues internally amongst the suburbanites. And you'll notice that even when I came into town of Clinton, that there was, you know, a couple shops in town that were like Wares and Wares, that is the old yogurt place here. 2 gay guys ran that. The great guys, and they also ran there's 2 gay guys who ran a shop right up on Halstead that had a flower shop up there. So there was, you know, out here, Clinton was very acceptable to it. And then there was more down to Lambertville.
Mm-hmm. New Hope area, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, people just got to be learn to be a little more tolerant and respectful. The usual stuff.
That's it.
And break down the barriers through music. Not exclusively, but that's one of the agents.
So 2 nights ago, what was that guy's name? Sondheim?
Stephen Sondheim?
Right. What was the song? The Clowns one?
Send in the Clowns?
Do you like that song?
I have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
I mean, B can maybe elaborate more about Stephen Sondheim's music. I haven't really listened to much of it. I think maybe in the context of the theatrical production, it would make more sense to me. Yeah, that's not an easy song. Yeah, there's been a lot of people have covered it. Judy Collins and
Judi Dench?
Judy Collins.
Yeah, and
Judy Dench and all the other Judys.
Judy.
Sweet Judy Blue Eyes.
And Frank Sinatra did it.
Wow.
Did you hear that one?
No.
Oh yeah, Frankie. That's what I thought when somebody brought it up. I'm like, Frank
That's a
Sinatra
hard
did that.
song, man. Yeah, it's not like one you just like go up to the band and sit in on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right
Hey.
right about here. Send in the clowns. Come on. Shuffle.
Oh yeah.
Tell your harmonica player. Oh man.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I always like when you hear like a version of a song in a unfamiliar context, like a bluegrass version of something that you've never thought would be. You know?
Right.
And I wanted to do "Helter Skelter" by the Beatles as a bossa nova in Portuguese.
Why don't you try that for me?
I have to learn it though, because I always thought also that songs that
What do you mean in Portuguese, like
songs
the
that
translate?
were really happy, that were really sad, that were presented as a happy song. You know, it should,
How does Helter Skelter go in the bossa nova?
oh, when I get to the bottom, they have to do it in Portuguese. Yeah, I have to learn that. No.
Oh yeah, that's a bossa nova.
Something like that, yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, you know why? I think it's the recapture moment currently that we're trying, being the fact that what's his name died, and he tried to usurp the Helter Skelter situation.
Oh, Manson?
Who?
Who?
Yeah, and you know, it was just the influx of the British imposition on American culture when we had, you know, fantastic music coming throughout 50s even, you know, but that's the argument. I did like, who was that gal who was married to Paul, the Kodak girl?
Linda Eastman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's she from? Connecticut?
Well, I don't know, but wasn't Eastman like
Eastman Kodak?
up in New York State?
Yeah. Beautiful girl, huh?
Yeah.
He married her and
Yeah, she had cancer, I think.
you know, she passed away
Yeah.
and her house and Paul's house was right below Larry Vincey's house out in Tucson when he was out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long was
Linda
Larry
McCartney, right?
Yeah, how long was Larry out there?
He'd been going out there for a while. He started to ride horses out there in the 70s, and then he built a house out there in the 80s after he retired. And
Nice.
stayed out there for 15 years or so, and then came back to my house. Hung out with me for a little bit, and then went up to Ramsey.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, he was out there. It's a nice place. Nice area, right out in Tucson, in the mountains. Keep you alive for a long
So he
time.
must have been happy there if he stuck around for a while.
Sure.
That's good.
Yeah. So was Linda and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Paul, after she died, he married that girl with the one leg.
The wacko.
All his boys were like, "Hey, don't forget about the prenup." He's like, "Don't worry about the prenup. She loves me. I love her."
Yeah, he likes to be married.
Well, So who's he married to now?
He's married to that woman that's related to part of a family that owns like a trucking company, Chevelle or something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good for him.
for a while now.
Yeah. He didn't invite me down to this last party that he
Nah.
had. Did he call you?
No, I got a message, but
He deleted
it
it?
was kind of vague. I think it was in a different language. It was something about, the band wasn't going to eat. He had sandwiches for us.
Turkey sandwiches.
Yeah, dry. There's sandwiches for you boys in the back. That's where it is. In the back.